Hi, Jonno here. Just a quick video on some of the tools I've made and some of the automation resulting from those tools. This is rapid development, rapid prototyping, but also prototyping in production, which is kind of crazy, but that's how fast things are going now. You build the tools as you use them, and you expand the tools as you need them. So I'll show you. I'll run through this. I'll run through this. Sorry, I'm going really fast. I've tried to make this video so many times tonight. I'm losing my voice. So I'll get better at this, I promise. But let's look at the error log analysis. Human workflow, automated by software, and compare that to how long it used to take me to do this work. So the workflow is analyze the Apache error logs, extract the IPs of the bad actors, find all the countries that they're from and who is responsible for the network, and then process that IP list into a reasonable list for security blocking. That would normally take me, so if I was directly analyzing these logs in real time, each run through would take maybe 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how long the list is. Now this process here will slow down a little bit depending on how long the lists are, but in this case we'll run it through and you'll see how fast it can work. This is running on local as well. It's in an isolated virtual environment in a container, so of course it's going to run a bit slower, but here we go. Download the Apache error logs directly from the server. Here they are if I want to analyze them. I'm just going to process them through. I'm going to get my IP addresses and I'm going to pop them into the country cleaner. Again, the slowest part is the loading of the next page. This is all unoptimized as well, so it's running a bunch of other software that probably doesn't need to be running. So put this on a small little cloud server somewhere and it's just going to blaze. As fast as WordPress can possibly go with only one or two plugins. That's pretty fast. So this then gets all the information, like who's responsible for the IPs, and then it goes through a deduplication and filtering, and it leaves me with a list that is reasonably going to be blockable without causing too much problem. If I was under let's say a high traffic, high attack probability, I would push it to the server. But when I'm not, I would take a closer look at each IP and say, hey, let's use the AI to quickly look up more information about that IP, which again would take me another 5 minutes. So 5 minutes per list, lookup and details. So this is a residential customer. Most network admins would say, yeah, I can look at that and I know that's residential. I know that's that. Yeah, exactly. I do that as well. But this is just an example of AI. So if there was something I wanted to know more about, like what, and it also kind of does have not most recent history, but depending on the AI that you send it to, it'll give you more recent history. Like I know if I hit ChatGPT with this, I'm going to pay more for this information, but it's actually going to look up some of the current information on that IP. But again, this is a cloud server, so yeah, I want to add it to a block list. So this is if I've had the time and I want to get in there and get back in there and do the manual server admin thing, build the list, and then, but the beauty of it, push it to the server with a click of a button. So again, that's the process. That's it. You just click right there. It's done in less than literally 30 seconds. And that's the manual process. So from there, once I can do the full process to end result, I'll run it through again just really quickly. Let's start. Again, loading the page is the slowest part. But again, this is dev environment. You can always speed this up. Okay, I'll run through without too much chatter. Download, process, copy, move it to the country cleaner. I can add a button there to automatically do this as well. I just didn't, because I built the automation process before it was needed. And usually a cut and paste is not that big of a deal. So yeah, it's all processed. If I was under attack, I would click that, and it's uploading it to the server. Hopefully the server, there you go, list 2 successfully uploaded. So that's the whole process. That whole process would take maybe 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how big the list was. It's now down to, just seconds, under half a minute. Let me show you the full automation. So now, once you have a workflow that can be clicked, if you can click buttons and get all the way to the end, all the way to the desired result, which is in this case an automated a block list upload that then is automatically added to the firewall, or the software firewall, you're then ready to sort of start building your automation pipeline out of these tools. So the full automation is that it's done the download, which is getting the file, and then it's going to push it through to the error log page just as it was before. I could have started the automation here with just a button, but I put it in its separate tab for now while I was developing it, because it sets the different processing mode. There's lots of ways you can do this, but again, this is the automation. It's now going through into the country cleaner and running those functions there. As you notice, this is actually a little bit slower than a human going through. That's because I added all this front end UI. So all of that is extra processing, extra time on the server, extra, and I want to be extra careful when I'm doing automation. So there's a few more checks in there. But that's it. That's the automated process. And this will run every 15 minutes, automatically get, I would run this if it was, I would run it every like five minutes if there was a DDoS going on, and I've actually taken some old log files from old DDoS attacks. These things have like, 15,000 log lines, and run it through this, and it will do the fairly, 4 times as long as it takes to do one run through because of the long list, but it will get them all, and then you can immediately, push it either to the software firewall if the server's still in an accessible state, or push it directly to a hardware firewall. Well, that's it for this video. It's basically just, again, an example of some tools in automation that I built, and some AI integration. I've got a lot of other automation and tools, and I'll show them to you hopefully soon. Let me know if this is even of any interest, with a thumbs up, and if you want to see other stuff I'm building, do subscribe it, and you can see what I'm up to. Thanks for watching, and if you made it this far, I hope it was useful in some way. That's why I'm making these videos, is to basically show people what you can do. And with this tool, like I said, if I was doing this server admin work full time, it would save at least 20 hours a week. Just look at the speed difference. From 15 minutes worth of work down to under 30 seconds. Compound that. If you're doing an hour's worth of work in 3 minutes, that's pretty good. Anyway, it saves my time. This is my tool for my workflow. I don't think other people would actually be able to use this tool in this way unless they learned my flow. And it's not designed for other people to use. It's my tool. And this is where I think the future of AI is building your own workflow tools, knowing when you want to use AI, and then knowing what that AI needs to do, and being able to explain the process of getting you the information that you wanted in the format that you wanted, so you can give it to another tool that you've designed. And that's the whole thing. The AI cannot do all of it. It's going to need you to do it. Your 1 hour of time, you now have 57 minutes that you could be building something else with, solving some other problem, doing pure research and development for the company. You know, that's in tech fields, but that's just it. You know, this is an extreme example where tedious work that used to take time can be automated quickly with some good software and some AI support. Have a good one, people.